Welcome to the orientation session for the ACT Microcredit Loan Program. Participation in one of these sessions, whether in person or viewing online, is compulsory if you are considering applying for an ACT Microcredit loan. You will be asked to confirm your participation by filling in a questionnaire at the end of this session. The orientation session will talk about the program itself, talk about key elements of the program, we'll introduce the partners delivering the program, and we'll provide an overview of what Lighthouse will deliver to applicants as they participate in this program. The first part of the orientation session talks about the eligibility and selection criteria. By way of introduction, the ACT Microcredit Loan Program provides low interest and fee-free loans from Westpac for eligible low-income earners who wish to start or expand a business. The program will build on the previous experience and to continue to provide loan recipients with training, individual mentoring, peer support and access to networking events. The new loans target a number of key groups including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, migrants, young people, women and lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and intersex individuals. A little bit about the program itself. Microcredit has been a valuable way to enhance economic opportunities originally for women and their families around the world for many, many years. Originally, the program was called Brilliant Idea. It was established in 2010 in partnership with the Office for Women from the ACT government and was targeting specifically women on low incomes. In February 2014, the program was expanded to include the target groups just recently described and looks to offer two forms of loans, both no interest and low interest, and we'll talk about those more throughout this session. Firstly, the key elements of the program. This is a loan, it is not a grant. The loans are competitive and there is a limited number. There will be approximately 15 loans available over 12 months. They are time limited in that the preferred repayment period is 2 years. There will be 3 rounds of loans per year to total to the maximum number of 15. There is a loan default process in place. There will also be strong support and negotiated work plan, including face-to-face meetings with Lighthouse and other appropriate providers. The 3 main partners in delivering the ACT Microcredit Loan Program are the ACT Government's Community Services Directorate, Lighthouse Business Innovation Centre and Westpac Bank. Westpac is providing the majority of the loan funds for this program. As mentioned earlier, there is a loan default process in place as part of this program, but Westpac is not imposing the normal bank default requirements on the loan funds. But if repayments cease without prior discussion with Lighthouse, a default process will be initiated. So open communication and honest communication is key to the success of this program. So let's have a look at eligibility. Is this particular program right for you? And we'll talk about the 2 forms of loans that are available. The first thing we need to determine is whether you are running a business or a hobby. How do we see the difference? If you're running a hobby, you are doing something that earns you occasional income and you're doing something that gives you pleasure. It is not something you intend to be your sole source of income, and it's not something you intend to do on a full-time basis. If you're running a business, you are generating income in return for your efforts. This income is ongoing and your intention is to make this your full-time and only source of income. If you are running a hobby, you will not be eligible for the ACT Microcredit Loan Program. Lighthouse will also talk to you about how committed you are to the idea, how well you understand what you want to do, how well you understand the people you are selling to and what you are selling, and how committed you are to making this your long-term source of income and how sustainable the idea is in the market. We'll also talk to you about your plans for growth, what you want to achieve in the long term and how you think you might achieve that. And we'll also talk to you about how willing you are to work with Lighthouse and others to develop your business. Your commitment to this process is very, very important. Let's have a look at the eligibility for the loans. The first loans are the no interest loans. These loans are up to a maximum of $3,000. To be eligible for these loans, your combined family income can be no higher than $65,000. That includes de facto relationships. How do we define de facto relationships? If you are sharing costs or if you are sharing responsibilities for caring of children, household items, etc., we will consider that a de facto relationship. You can have a healthcare card, but you must have held that card for at least 6 months prior to the application. But again, your income can be no higher than $65,000. You must have been an ACT resident for a minimum of 6 months prior to the application. And the business you are intending to establish will be based in the ACT. The second type of loan is the low interest rate loans. These loans are for between $3,001 up to a maximum of $10,000. A flat rate of 3% interest applies to these loans. To be eligible for these loans, you can have a combined family income no higher than $75,000. Again, that includes the de facto relationship. You can have a healthcare card, but again, you must have had that card for at least 6 months prior to the application, and again, the combined income can be no higher than $75,000. You must have been an ACT resident for a minimum of 6 months prior to applying for the loan, and the existing business or the business that is semi-established must be located in the ACT. The process for application. There are 10 steps to the application process, and we'll move through those now. Step 1 is to do what you're doing at the moment. You can either attend in person or view an orientation session online. This is compulsory for any potential applicant for the microcredit loan program. We will ask you to complete a questionnaire at the end of this session as proof of your participation. Step 2 is to complete and submit an expression of interest once we have proof that you have completed step 1. Step 3 is to attend an initial meeting with Lighthouse to discuss your business idea and to look at ways that we can help you strengthen your application if you're invited to apply. Step 4 is on the basis of your expression of interest, applicants will be shortlisted, and those that have been shortlisted will be invited to submit a full application. When you submit your full application in step 5, you will be asked to submit a personal budget if you're applying for a $3,000 loan. If you're applying for one of the larger interest-bearing loans, you will also be required to submit a business budget. In the 6th step, applications are reviewed by a panel of Lighthouse Client Managers, and we will shortlist applicants who are then invited to pitch or to talk about their application. Following the pitch session, successful applicants are notified and a meeting scheduled to complete our BizLab tool. This will help us determine the strengths and weaknesses of your business, a work plan going forward, and the loan amounts that you will need to actually help you achieve your goals. If you are unsuccessful in achieving a loan, we won't abandon you. Lighthouse will work with you to determine other forms of assistance that we might be able to provide, or forms of assistance that are external to Lighthouse, to hopefully encourage you to come back and apply at a later date. For successful applicants, once this is complete, the loan agreements will be signed and follow-up meetings will be set in place according to a schedule coming out of that work plan process. Once an applicant is successful, there are a program of events and general workshops that will be open to you. There will also be some networking opportunities. There will be face-to-face meetings at least every month for the first 6 months, and there may also be some peer group sessions that you would be interested in attending. The key to the success of this program is open and honest communication at all times, and if you ever have any issues during the life of the program, you should bring them to the attention of your Lighthouse case manager as quickly as possible. Let's now have a look at the selection criteria. Let's first look at the no interest rate loans, and again these are up to a maximum of $3,000. Lighthouse will be looking for well-conceived business ideas and your ability to clearly tell us about that idea. We'll be looking at your understanding of what you're selling and who you're selling it to. We want an understanding of what you will spend the loan and monies on. The funding can't be used for personal expenditure. It can only be used on material or equipment that is essential to the establishment of your business. And we also need to look at whether or not you are able to fund the development of this business in any other way. We also need to have a look at your ability to meet the requirements of the loan. As said earlier, the preferred repayment period is 2 years, but obviously this can be negotiated, again, as long as you communicate any issues you have with Lighthouse. What we mean by provability is that Lighthouse will not put any loan applicant into a position where financially they will be worse off. If we don't believe you can afford the loan at this point in time, we will work with you to see whether we can bring you up to a position where you can afford it in the future. We also need to understand that you have a clear commitment to the success of your business idea. Being in business is difficult, and so commitment is very, very important. You need to be open and receptive to skills development and suggestions and advice. You need to be willing to participate in the development program, and you need to be willing to participate in any marketing activities that might result from your participation in the ACT Microcredit Loan Program. For the low interest loans, again, just to remind you, these incur a 3% flat rate. They are for loans of between $3,001 up to a maximum of $10,000. To be eligible for these loans, you must have an ID that's already validated. So you must either have a customer, or you must already have a business that is almost established and you already know very clearly who your customers are and how much they will pay for your product or service. You need to understand your market, and you need to have a clear pathway to sell to those customers. You must have a developed cash flow and a business plan. Again, the funding can only be used for material or equipment that is essential to the growth of your business. It cannot be used for personal expenditure, and we will look at your ability to fund the development in any other way. You must also be able to show proof that you can meet the requirements of the loan, and again, the preferred repayment period is 2 years. You must have a clear commitment to the ongoing development of your business, and again, you must be open to training and development, willing to participate in program elements, and willing to participate in marketing activities for the ACT Microcredit Loan Program. Just to reiterate, funding under either the no interest rate loans or the low interest rate loans cannot be used for personal expenditure. All funding under this program must be used on material or equipment that is essential to the establishment or the growth of your business. Lighthouse will work with you to look at how to best use the funds to get your business or your idea to the next stage. Another key part of this program is to keep yourself informed. Lighthouse will post up activities, events that may be of interest to you on the ACT Microcredit website. But it's also very important for you, if you are a successful applicant, to keep Lighthouse informed. Lighthouse has some flexibility, and we are prepared to work with you to ensure that any issues are addressed in terms of repayments, meeting milestones, etc. But unless a successful applicant communicates those issues with Lighthouse clearly, we cannot help you address them. So just a reminder, open and honest communication is the key to success of this program. That brings the formal part of the orientation session to a close. If you have any questions, please contact Lighthouse. There will be a frequently asked question sheet available online, but if the question you have is not there, do contact Lighthouse. It is better to clear up any uncertainty before you commence the program. So thank you very much for your participation. Please contact Lighthouse if you have any questions. Thank you.